More to lock at the top. Where will Shedeur Sanders land, and why the Patriots are all in wait-and-see position.
And the great 8 now, a hat trick away from the great 1. A most unique take on both greats from a player with the most unique perspective because he's one of one.
But we start with Stephen Curry and the Warriors taking on LeBron James and the Lakers tonight at Crypto.com Arena. The race is on. The Warriors currently 5th in the West. Lakers sit at 4th. Curry coming off of a 52-point game versus the Grizzlies. LeBron took notice, taking to Instagram to comment, cooked, with a few fire emojis. The good news for LA, they have won all 3 games against the Warriors this season and look to complete the sweep tonight as we welcome in Lakers reporter Dave McMenamin and NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins. All right, let's start with Dave in Los Angeles. The Lakers, they've had a very busy schedule the last few weeks, but they're coming off of a 48-hour break going into tonight. How has LA used that extra time to get ready for the Warriors in this matchup?
Yeah, Christine, Allen Iverson would be offended because JJ Redick had his team back practicing at their home facility for the first time since late February. And he used the time to go over very specific scenarios as he wants to, he calls it, fine-tune some things as they head towards the postseason. So they went over what type of defenses they want to implement against certain offenses that the opponent would present, but also they went over late game scenarios on their offensive end. What do we got to do if we need a 2-point basket? What are we going to do if we need a 3? What are we going to do to get the inbounds ball pass in? And obviously, hello, Chicago, they're trying to make up for what happened late in that Bulls loss by practicing that scenario.
Yeah, that's a good thing to practice. Perk, the good news for both teams is they're both expected to be at full strength. So what do you hope to learn most from tonight's matchup?
What's going to come down to, for me, is looking at Austin Reeves, right? I mean, when you look at the Lakers, when he scored 20 or more, I mean, they're 24-7. So I'm looking at Austin Reeves to come out and be a factor. Like, and you look at LeBron James' offensive numbers, far as his points per game since returning, they haven't been great. And so LeBron is asked to do so much more. For us, playing center at times, being a screener, right, doing other things that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. They need Austin Reeves to be that guy, and this is one of those moments where he has to show up and show out.
Okay, let's talk about another guy on that team. We've seen Luka in the playoffs before. It's one of the reasons that we came up with Luka Magic. This will be his first run in LA, though. So what is Luka saying about his approach, Dave?
Yeah, I spoke to him at a team event last night, and first of all, he said, hey, getting 2 days off between last game and the Warriors game, I have to feel rested. So he feels like that will give him a good base of energy going into tonight. But he said, we have to treat this game to game like we're already in the playoffs, like the games matter that much. And he said defensively is where he wants to see them continue to show improvement, much the way they did against Memphis and Houston. Consider just how impressive this win was against the Houston Rockets for the Lakers. The Rockets scored 148 points on Sunday. They scored 143 points on Wednesday. But on Monday against the Lakers, they were held to just 98 points, with the Lakers defense looking like the team that led them through that late season surge to the top of the Western Conference standings.
Okay, Perk, it's so crazy. The regular season, it ends in 10 days. Between the Lakers and the Warriors, which team is giving you more confidence as they head into the playoffs?
Right now, surprisingly, it's the Golden State Warriors. I thought that win that they had in Memphis was an eye-opener for myself and others. And I'm looking at, yes, Steph Curry, he had 52 of them. But I'm also looking at Jimmy Butler having 27 points in that game as well. And when you think about Jimmy, he is a Swiss Army knife. He cuts you everywhere but loose. And what he provides and brings to the table is elite offensive play, but elite defensive play on the other end. And you also have Draymond Green, who's in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. So when you talk about consistency on how they play their style on both ends of the floor right now and peaking at the right time, I have more confidence in the Golden State Warriors, to be honest.
All right,
adding one player who kind of puts you over the top. Houston is the first name a lot of people mention. And as we wake up this morning, don't look now, the Lakers are in the 3 spot in the West. The Rockets, who have a nice cushion, do have the toughest remaining schedule, and that includes a game at the Lakers next Friday. ESPN Bet, by the way, has the Lakers with the 4th shortest odds to win the NBA championship. And I will tell you something, Marcus Morris. in our meeting this morning, so just a little behind the scenes, right? We got a 6 o'clock in the morning meeting here. Everyone's kind of talking. We're talking through some ideas, bouncing stuff, throwing up against the wall, see what sticks. You said something that no one has said since they got Luka. Not one person has said what you said this morning, and that is you think the Lakers are going to win the title this year.
I do think the Lakers are going to win the title, right? You had Luka Doncic that's been there, that's almost carried Dallas to the finals last year. You add LeBron James, you add these core role players that know how to win, right? You have the smartest guy, the smartest IQ in the game, right?
That's LeBron, you mean?
They're not, yes, of course. They're not even showing what they can do. I think that they're playing chess right now and not even putting anything on the table. It will be exciting to see how they mesh with LeBron James' IQ and J.J. Redick's IQ, right? To be able to go into 7-game series with any of these teams in the West, I think they're just well prepared.
You know, Shams, when you literally broke the internet, we overuse that expression, but in that case, you genuinely did with that trade. Here's how it sort of feels to me. That trade fell in the lap of Rob Pelinka, and so he made it. But it wasn't something he was thinking, oh, I can win the championship this year. It was, of course, you make the trade for Luka, and then we figure it out from there. So pretty much all of the reaction that we had here immediately was, oh, this puts them in great shape to eventually put together a championship team. This feels ahead of schedule.
Yeah, so the deal itself, you have to have relationships on both sides with a guy like Nico Harrison to make that deal. And also, everyone talks about how much they gave up. Mark Cuban even came out and said, you know, if you're going to trade Luka Doncic, you got to get 4 first-round picks. You got to get Austin Reeves. You got to get all these different things. He gave up Anthony Davis, which, again, that's a heralded talent to give up. I think people just want to poo-poo on Anthony Davis. This is one of the best players in the league on any given night. But when the Lakers made that trade, it was we're sending Anthony Davis to a win-now team. That's a win-now contender in Dallas. We want a face of the franchise for the next 10 years. That's how they viewed it. Maybe even they underestimated how quick Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves, right? 3 guys that really need the ball in their hands, how they've been able to thrive together. And they've done it without a big. In a lot of ways, a guy that we know can be a starting center. Jackson Hayes has been thrust into it. He came into the year a backup third-string center. He's been thrust into that starting role, and he's shined in it.
Can they do it this quickly, Alan?
Here's why they can do it this quickly, because the West normally has had contenders, experienced contenders. This is that transition time in the NBA where there's some younger teams. Again, Oklahoma City, Cleveland. Boston is the one mainstay, I think, that is still there, that has won in the past and continues to. Denver, as we see with Jokic, is still a formidable team, but not quite what they were when they won a championship. So there really is, the door's open if there was ever a year to do it, if you could take advantage. As we talked about, if there's a weakness to a great team like the Thunder, it is the lack of experience. It's the one thing that the Lakers have. They have tons of experience when it comes to LeBron and Luka and what they've done. So the door might be open short term for them to get it done this year. That's why there is a chance.
They play the Warriors tonight, by the way. Yesterday, that was a first-round matchup setup. As of this morning, it isn't because the Lakers have moved up. You never know where that winds up. LeBron and Luka are one thing. How about Steph and playoff Jimmy? How real are they as a contender this year?
Definitely real. If you have any team that has Steph Curry on it, is a real contender, right? And you add playoff Jimmy with Draymond, right? They have the pieces. Playoff Jimmy gets a chance to play on a team with guys that's done it before, right? He gets a chance to be on that stage. Draymond, the emotional leader. Second in defense player of the year, maybe third, right? So you don't really see a drop down. Any team that goes up against Golden State is going to have trouble. Any team.
They're sort of the old heads. Here we were this morning having a generational conversation. You got OKC, super young. You got Houston, super young, ridiculously talented. Is it too soon for those teams? And then you got Steph in one place, and you got LeBron in another place, and you got, the
Expendables.
Don't overlook Kawhi. Look, I mean, if I had $1 for every time I said, if Kawhi Leonard is healthy, then they could do this, then I would be a very rich man. But the reality is the Clippers are a team, when you watch them when they are whole, which happens like the Halley's Comet. But if they're healthy in the playoffs, the Clippers are a team to be reckoned with.
We're talking about 2 guys, Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard, who Marcus has firsthand experience with. They turn it on when the playoffs start, right? Like when they're healthy and going. And we've seen Kawhi Leonard. He started a little slow when he got back. Minutes restriction, 16, 17 points a game. What is he averaging in the last 15, 25, 7 and 4 assists?
It's time.
It's his time now. And same with Jimmy Butler, 18 and 2 with him and Steph.
And James Harden, let's not sleep on how well he's played this year. That's almost
he's been the rock.
Radar.
He's been the rock and the anchor there.
And the other guys. Norm
Norm
Powell
Powell's
actually leads the team in
fantastic.
scoring, right? A Zubac double machine. He's
And they
having
have
a
great
career
coaching.
year.
So
Great coaching.
let me just wrap it up with this. You're telling me you're a believer, because we have the Warriors on the screen there, and that's obviously, I keep using this word. I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but sort of the old seasoned group in the West and then the young guns in the West. You're telling me you're buying into the old guys. It'll be one of those teams that comes out of the West this year.
Definitely, I'm buying into that. And I love the word old guys, right? I love that word because in the playoff, old guys get it done. When you look at experience, yes, the Boston Celtics aren't old guys, but their experiences as older players, right? They've been there multiple times.